أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على الكريم وعلى آله وأصحابه من سنة بسنة الدين أما بعد رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا واجتنابه اللهم إنا نسألك خير ما سألك عبدك ورسولك نبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من شر ما استعاذ بك عبدك ورسولك نبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, as we continue, inshallah, in our series of qualities of the believers, and as we continue in our program, today is part 6. Part 6 is where we're going to be talking about Surah Al-Ma'arij, verses 23 onwards, as we covered already so far, up to verse number 23. And now we'll continue with verse number 24. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in these verses of Surah Ma'arij, informs us of the beautiful qualities of the believers. Last night, we stopped on the quality of Salah being da'imun, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, hum alladhina hum ala salatihim da'imun, those who are da'im. Da'im means continuous punctuality. It also means the regularity in Salah, not just the 5-time daily Salah, but even the nawafil. For example, if you pray Salatul Ishraq after the sun rises, but if you pray only once in a year or once 6 months, that's like, odd. But if you make it a habit that you pray at least, if not every day in the morning, then at least twice a week, thrice a week, in a continuous way throughout the year, you pray Salatul Ishraq. I'm just giving an example of one Salatul Nafil Ishraq on the concept of da'imun, that mudawama. Mudawama in Arabic means continuity, meaning don't do something good, don't do a good deed just once and then that's it, forget about it. Once in a lifetime or once in a year you did it. Any goodness that you can bring in your life, any goodness you can bring in your daily ibadat, it is better to do it on a regular basis. According to the hadith of Rasulullah, which is narrated by Aisha Siddiqa radhiyallahu anha, she narrated that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Ahabbul a'mal ila Allah adwamuha wa in qal, wa fi lafdhin akhir ma dawama alayhi sahibuhu, aw kama qala alayhi salatu wassalam." Aisha Siddiqa radhiyallahu anha, she's saying that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the most beloved of a'mal to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are the ones that are done, adwamuha, are the ones that are done regularly. If you give sadaqah, charity, don't just give it once in a year or once in a time when anybody is fundraising or something, but make it a regular basis. Giving $1 a day, 365 days a year, is more habbu ilallah, is more beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala than just giving $300 in one day of the whole year. So the continuity and regularity of the amal is what is the maqsood, the hadaf, the goal here. And that is why it is important to understand that when Rasul Sallam is saying, Ahabbul a'mal ila Allah adwamuha wa in qal. Qal is from qalil, qilla. So Rasul Sallam is saying the most beloved of actions to Allah are the ones that are done regularly, even if they are very little. So you give $1 a day, but 365 days in a year is more beloved to Allah than giving 300 or 1,000 in one day. Of course, that itself has virtue. There's no taking away from that. Giving 1,000 in one day in the whole year, that is also beloved. But the thing is that the amal should be regularity. A person who gives $1 a day, but 365 times in a year, is more beloved and punctual and regular to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala than a person who just does it one day. Same thing over here in terms of ibadat. Any ibadah, any worship that you do, besides the 5-time daily salah, whether it's tilawat al-Quran, whether it's zikr, azkar, whether it's memorizing of dua, whether it's memorizing of Quran or Hadith, or whether it is just nawafil, Salatul Ishraq, Salatul Awabin, Salatul Duha, Salatul Shukr, Salatul Istikhara, Salatul Tawbah, Salatul Istighfar, Salatul Tahiyatul Masjid, Salatul Tahiyatul Al Wudu. Any of these that you do, it's better to do on a regular basis. أحب أعمال إلى الله أدومها وإن قل, even if it is little. The most beloved of actions to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are those that are done on a regular, continuous basis, even if they are little. So if you just pray 2 rak'ah nafil, but you pray once every day, that is more beloved to Allah than praying, let's say, for example, 10 rak'ah in one night in the whole year. Out of a whole year, you just pray 10 rak'ah in one night. That is also very, very virtuous and beloved, but it is not as beloved to Allah than praying 2 rak'ah nafil every night or every day. So, like I said, the example that Salatul Ishraq, the salah that is prayed right after the sun coming up, if we can pray that every day or every other day or thrice a week on a regular basis, is beloved to Allah. So al mudawama is what is being encouraged. Mudawama, regularity, punctuality. One of the features of the believers, one of the qualities of the believer is that whatever they do, even if they do little, but they do it on a regular, continuous basis, whether it is zikr or askar. One day you say that, oh, I am feeling very, very close to Allah, let me do zikr. So you sit down with a zikr bead or a counter or something, and you keep doing zikr for like 2 hours. But then the rest of the whole month or rest of the whole week or rest of the whole year, no zikr, nothing. And so is that better, or the other one is better, where a person does dhikr, even 5 minutes, 10 minutes, qal, qaleel, but every day, 365 days a year. So that is what Rasul is saying. أحب الأعمال إلى الله أدومها وإن قل. وجاء في رواية, that in another riwayah Rasul said that ما داوم عليه صاحبه. أحب الأعمال إلى الله ما داوم عليه صاحبه. The most beloved of actions to Allah are the ones where the person who does it is continuous in it. So this hadith is narrated by Aisha Siddiqa anha, which is defining us in terms of this ayah number 24, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ عَلَى صَلَاتِهِمْ دَائِمُونَ, those people who are regular in their salah, regular in their ibadah, and continuous in that. We move on to next ayah number 24 today. Surah Ma'arij, those of you who are following, you can open the Quran or open your Mus'haf. And we are on Surah Ma'arij, Surah 70, looking at the qualities and features of the believers, mu'mineen. And these are qualities that we need to adopt and adapt, to inculcate, imbibe in ourselves. So ayah number 24, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَالَّذِينَ فِي أَمْوَالِهِمْ حَقٌّ مَعْلُومٌ وَالَّذِينَ فِي أَمْوَالِهِمْ حَقٌّ مَعْلُومٌ. Those people who are in their amwal, in their mal, in their money, in their wealth, they know the haqq, the rights of other people. You see, my money is not my money. Our money is not our money. Who gave us the money in the first place? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And when we get salaries, both husband and wife, well, let's put the wife aside for a second, because she's not obligated to spend from the money on her husband and children. That's her money. But let's say we as husbands, the fathers, the husbands who work endlessly, tirelessly with our sweat and blood, we earn a risk to support a family because Allah has obligated us. Allah will ask us on Yawm al-Qiyamah that, did you work, did you earn a living, did you provide for your family? I made you a male, I made you a husband, I made you a father, so you had this responsibility. Mas'uliyya ala katf, you had this responsibility on your shoulder. So there'll be hisab, there'll be accountability on Yawm al-Qiyamah. Allah's going to ask us, the males, the fathers, the husband, that did you provide for your family? Now, it is our responsibility. So when we get a salary or business, when we're doing some tijara business, the money that we're making, our mind, shaitan puts what's in our mind, this is my money. But in that money, whatever amount we earn is not just my money that I spend on myself as a husband, as a father, as a son. But in that money, there is a fixed portion, haqqun ma'loom. That's what Allah is saying. Allah is saying here in Surah Ma'arij, وَالَّذِينَ فِي أَمْوَالِهِمْ حَقٌّ مَعْلُومٌ. And those people, those believers who in their mal, in their amwal, they have a fixed portion available to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is why it's important to understand. Very, very important here. Um, what happened here? Something stopped. Sorry about that. Something just okay. So sorry about that on people on Facebook. There was some technical difficulty, so it got. We're back now on Facebook. So as I was saying before that technical problem, that in our mal, in our money, the risk that we earn as males, as husbands and fathers and sons and brothers, there is a fixed portion that Allah has put in it. Let's say a person is earning 100,000 salary a year or something, or 200,000 or 50,000. The person thinks this whole money is my money. Wrong. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying the believer looks at the money, whatever they're earning, the risk, from a broad perspective, from a wide perspective. The believer looks at it from the Qur'an's perspective, from Surah Ma'ari, Surah 70, verse 24 perspective. And what is that? وَالَّذِينَ فِي أَمْوَالِهِمْ حَقٌّ مَعْلُومٌ. And those people, the believers, they know that when they earn the risk, they have a fixed portion in their money. So in the salary that I earn, there's a portion for it for my wife, there's a portion for it for my kids, there's a portion for it my sister, for my brother, for my mother, for my son. Of course, this is not in any hierarchy order. I'm just giving example. So my relatives, my loved ones who are attached to me directly, immediate one, my parents and my siblings and my wife and my kids, all these have haqqun ma'loom in this. Now this is just the bare minimum. Then there is haqqun ma'loom in my risk, in my earning. This is the mindset, the khalfiyya, the aql of a mu'min, muwahhid, not an average Muslim we're talking about. An average Muslim will not look at money from this perspective. We're talking about those people who really love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and who are, according to the ayah of Surah Mu'minun, قَدْ أَفْلَحَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ الَّذِينَ هُمْ فِي صَلَاتِهِمْ خَاشِعُونَ, all that. So Allah is talking about here, أَفْلَحَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ. The successful believer knows haqqun ma'loom fi amwalihim, mal. Whatever money I earn is not just money that I spend on myself. Let me just buy the car for myself. Let me buy the best clothes for myself. Let me buy the best watch for myself. Let me buy the best things for myself. It's just me, I, my. No. Whatever I earn, if I'm not married, whatever I earn, there is a portion for my mother and father, for my brother and sister, for my uncle and aunt, for my cousins, people that I can help. Money is power. Money is a tool that can be used to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the mu'min, the successful mu'min, al-mu'min which has falah, is the one who looks to opportunities, how to use my money and maximize and optimize it, investing. You know, like we invest in the world, we buy, we buy, stocks and mutual funds and bonds and whatnot, real estate, investing here and there. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, invest in akhirah. And how do you invest in akhirah? The moment you earn something, whenever you get the paycheck or whenever you get your business profit or payment, right over there, fixed a portion that this much I'll give to my dad, this much I'll give to my mom, regardless of whether they need it or not. Even if they don't, let's say our mom and dad are doing well off, that's perfect. But at least in the form of gifts, hadiyah, I need to give because it is my obligation and duty, because I know that this risk is coming from Allah. Allah is not giving me a salary. If somebody has a 6-figure salary, they should not get happy that this 6 figure is just for me. I have kids. Allah is giving me risk because of them. I have a wife. Allah is giving me risk because of that. And for those of you who got 2 or 3 wives, your salary is bigger because of those extra wives you got, not because you are doing anything good or you got a lot of degrees. Remember, and that is why in the Arab culture it was ta'addud al-zawaj, that they would marry more to have more barakah. We don't want to sidetrack here on the topic, but people who think that if I marry a second or third wife, I'm going to get poor, they're wrong, because the wife will bring the barakah. The wife that will come in The increase will come in the risk from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Anyway, that's for some other day, inshallah. I know brothers are like kind of gasping with their eyes open and mouth open, but don't worry, we'll talk about that topic some other day, not right now. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, وَالَّذِينَ وَالَّذِينَ فِي أَمْوَالِهِمْ حَقٌّ مَعْلُومٌ, and those people who have known portion in their money, meaning quantify, allocate, budget the money. Whatever money I earn, let me budget it. Even if it means just giving $1 a day to my mom and dad, so be it. It doesn't have to be that, oh, I have to give a big amount to my mom and dad and less to my kids and my wife, or the vice versa. I have to give a big amount to my wife and kids and very minimal or nothing to my mom and dad. Haqqun ma'loom, the word defines the quantification of money, the monetization of money in such a way that I am taking care of all the people around me, and I need to search. You know, we live a life, including myself. I'm no better than any one of you. We live a life of isolation, not because of this COVID virus, but in our relatives' point. Like if we are here overseas, we have relatives back home in our fibiladna, in our countries back home, whether it's in the North African countries, Middle East countries, South Asian countries, whichever country we came from. We live so far away, so cut off, and we're earning a good living here, a good livelihood. But we never worry about our uncle and aunt and cousins over there. We never even inquire about anybody. You know, how is that person? Maybe somebody is suffering in our family, in our relatives. Maybe somebody doesn't have the fees, the tuition fees to go to school. And we are not aware of it. And we are earning money here, alhamdulillah, good in America in dollars. But we have our own beloved relatives who are suffering thousands of miles away in the home countries back there. Maybe somebody couldn't get married because they don't have the funds to get married. You know, maybe somebody is sick and they don't even have the money for the medicine. And here I am in America earning a good a good livelihood. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, وَالَّذِينَ فِي أَمْوَالِهِمْ حَقٌّ مَعْلُومٌ. And Allah is saying that believers are those who know a fixed portion of their money for their relatives, for their loved ones, for their far relatives, not even just the immediate blood relative, the first cousin, a second cousin, even far-fetched people who are in far distant. It is my job, my duty to search and inquire. Is there anyone to whom I can give? And remember, sadaqah doesn't mean you have to give hundreds and hundreds of dollars to relatives over there. If I come to know that someone is missing to buy the medicine, I can even give $5, $10, which will become so much more in those countries back home over there. If I come to know that someone is not being able to get married because their father or mother is not able to afford, even a few dollars would help in that cause. Meaning, haqqun ma'loom, the word means that I realize that the money I have is not just money to be spent on me, on my family, and that's it. I have to search. This is in terms of relatives. Wait till we get to the second tier that Allah tells us in the next ayah. Verse number 25, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, لِلسَّائِلِ وَالْمَحْرُومِ. So far, I just explained to you from the first ayah about the haqqun ma'loom from immediate relatives. You know, when Sahaba asked Rasulullah that, Ya Rasulullah, who is the most deserving of my money, my mal? When I earn any risk, who is the most deserving? He said, your parents. Anything that you give to your parents, your mom and dad, that's sadaqah. And can you imagine? It is sadaqah. It's not money going away. It's not money drained. It's not like you lost that money. If you gave your dad or mom any amount, it does not mean that money is gone, you write off, it's not coming back. It's sadaqah, and the minimum that comes is 10 times more. You gave them a $10, $100, $1,000, you're getting 10 times back. Al-hasanatu bi ashra amthaliha, like the hadith of Rasulullah. I'm not saying that every parent needs money, but we can buy gifts. If our parents are good and well-to-do off, we can buy them gifts. It's not a way of paying back. There is no way we can pay back our parents for what they have done when we were young. There is not a single iota, an inch in terms of money that we can pay back. And yet we have many children, many grown-up adult children in our world today who very easily say that, oh, I have paid back 10 times what my dad spent on me. You are a fool. You're the biggest fool on the face of this earth. Because if you're quantifying the amount of dollars that you have spent on your dad or mom and thinking the amount of years that your dad or mom took care of you, you have been able to pay 10 times back in terms of the monetization, you're a fool. because we can never be equal to what our parents are. There are so many hadiths that mentions about the financial aspect or relationship between children and parents. We don't want to go in that dimension, but here we just want to mention that this ayah is telling us that my money has fixed portion in it for all my relatives, for all my distant relatives, for my neighbors, for my families, and also now in the next ayah, لِلسَّائِلِ وَالْمَحْرُومِ. And the ayah is telling us that not only is your money has a portion fixed in it for your parents, your spouses, for your children, for your brother and sister, siblings, for cousin and uncle and aunts and whatnot, but your money also has a portion embedded in it, fixed. Allah has put hidden in it. لِلسَّائِلِ وَالْمَحْرُومِ. Sa'il, as you know, comes from the root word of su'al. Who is sa'il? The one who comes and asks you. الذي يدعو, the one who asks, who knocks on your door, who says that, excuse me, can you help me? I have this need. Of course, we verify every person. We don't just blindly give it to somebody, because nowadays people are becoming professional beggars, and they do. But here, the word sa'il means someone who is in dire need and they came on your door or your phone and asked you for help. Now, here's a secret, my dear brother and sister Islam. Remember, whenever any sa'il comes to us, what is that ayah in surah وَأَمَّا السَّائِلَ فَلَا تَنْهَرْ وَأَمَّا بِنِعْمَةِ رَبِّكَ فَحَدِّثْ. In Surah Alam Nashrah, Surah Inshirah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَأَمَّا السَّائِلَ فَلَا تَنْهَرْ. Wa alaikum assalam to our brother Mansoor from Texas. Jazakallah khair. Oh, Sister Sumayya is also watching from Pakistan. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Sumayya. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying here that وَأَمَّا السَّائِلَ فَلَا تَنْهَرْ. And as for the questioner, the one who asks and requests you for help, فَلَا تَنْهَرْ, do not degrade them, do not deject them, don't turn them away. Similarly here, Allah is saying, وَالَّذِينَ فِي أَمْوَالِهِمْ حَقٌّ مَعْلُومٌ لِلسَّائِلِ وَالْمَحْرُومِ. And those people who know their fixed amount in their money that they earn, that is for the people who ask question. Now what I'm saying is, think about this, my dear brother and sister in Islam. Every time somebody requests you for help, whether knocking on your door, calling you on your phone, or texting you, or requesting through another person, when somebody comes to us for help, who sent them to us? Answer this question. Take 5 seconds and think about it. Who sent anyone to us requesting help? Can you help me financially? Who sent? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, وَأَمَّا السَّائِلَ فَلَا تَنْهَرْ. And when the questioner comes to you, even if you have nothing to give, you are yourself faqir, let's say for example, at least give a date or half a date or something, because that questioner has come with barakah from Allah. That sa'il has been sent by Allah. Allah is testing me and you, that does this person love mal, hubbul mal, or hubbullah? If we love Allah, if we uhibbullah, we will not look to the mal we will give, provided that the person is genuine. Of course, the disclaimer is there. If it's a professional beggar and you know somebody's going to just take that money and go buy drugs or waste that money on foolish things, of course, not on food or clothing, that's a different issue. But I'm saying, whoever comes to us asking for help, remember who sent it and why. There's a reason behind it. That person has come to us asking for help, sent by Allah. It's two things with one aspect: test of love of mal or love of Allah, and generosity. Because Allah wants us to get more. How do you get more? Not through greed and lust and desire. Allah has told us in the Quran a very simple concept, that man ذا الذي يقرض الله قرضا حسنا, who will give Allah a goodly loan, meaning you give sadaqah and khairat and goodness. So when a sa'il is coming to my door or calling me for help, it means Allah loves me so much, He wants to give me more. But in order for me to get more, I have to give. I can't just hoard money, hoard or hold money. I can't just, restrain money and just keep holding it and saying, Allah, give me more, Allah, give me more, Allah bless me. In order to get more from Allah, I need to give. It's like water. If I store all the water and build dams and not let the water flow, the water from behind will also begin to recede, will slow. But if the water flow is going and I don't build a dam and I keep flowing, or I do build a dam but still release the water from behind that is coming will know that the speed of water that is going in the front is fast, so let me also go fast. It's a very important concept that we need to understand that Allah is telling us. It's a very delicate and very, very fine concept of monetary and fiscal policy that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is teaching us, especially for the believers. Remember, we're talking about the qualities of the believers in this series. And this ayah in Surah Ma'arij is telling us the quality of the believer is when it comes to finances, when it comes to money. والذين في أموالهم حق معلوم للسائل والمحروم. The people who know that in their money, in their mal, there is a fixed portion for their relatives first, and then for the sa'il, for the one who asks question. Never ever return anybody empty-handed. Even if you can just give a penny or 1 rupee or something, dirham or something, or half a dirham or half a thing of that currency, even if you can give just a little bit, just some coins even, give. Because who knows, that person was genuine and we could have helped them, but that person turns back from your door saying to Allah that, oh Allah, I've been deprived. Sahibul mal, this person had the money, good car, good house, good clothes, good food, good everything, restaurant, going out there vacationing, and he could not or she could not spend just a few of what you gave, ya Allah. Allah subhanahu says in the Quran, in context of this concept of money, Allah says in the Quran, beautiful ayah, that وَاللَّهُ فَضَّلَكُمْ بَعْضُكُمْ عَلَى بَعْضٍ فِي الرِّزْقِ. Remember, very important ayah. Wallahu, Allah is the one. Faddalakum. Allah is the one who has given fadl. Allah is the one who has favored you amongst each other. Ba'dukum ala ba'd. Fir rizq, in rizq. Meaning Allah is saying it's not your achievement that you are rich or you're poor. It's nothing. A poor person cannot say, oh Allah, what's my fault? Why did you make me poor? And a rich person cannot say, oh Allah, it is my status, it is my, it's my accomplishment, my achievement, my knowledge, my skills that I am so rich. Allah chose to distribute the risk. Allah chose to divide the risk amongst the people, amongst the ibad, however He wants. So some people, He make them ultra rich, billionaires, trillionaires, millionaires. Some people, He made them middle, thousands and thousands. Some people only hundreds and hundreds, and some people nothing, very little. There are some people who their generation to generation remains poor. Illa masha'Allah, except that if Allah changes their ahwal. So the fact that the fact that we are well-to-do and we have money has nothing to do of me or my individuality. Allah is clearly telling me in the Quran, "Wallahu faddalakum ba'dukum ala ba'd fi rizq." Allah is the one who has chosen or favored or superseded some above on others in the term of rizq. If you're getting a higher salary than someone else, it is purely the fadl of Allah, nothing for us. If you're getting a lower salary than another person, there are 2 engineers, 2 doctors, exactly same degrees, exactly same skills, exactly same body, exactly same brain, but their difference of risk is big. One engineer here, this much salary, one engineer here. One doctor, physician here, so much salary, one over here. Who is this? Allah. And that same Allah who has given the disparity of risk tells us in Surah Ma'arij, Surah 70, verse number 25 and 24 and 25, وَالَّذِينَ فِي أَمْوَالِهِمْ حَقٌّ مَعْلُومٌ لِلسَّائِلِ وَالْمَحْرُومِ. And those people who know that they have a fixed portion in their money for those who question them and those who are mahroom. Mahroom is from haram, forbidden. So mahroom means deprived. Those who don't have enough to do, those who don't have enough to eat, enough to clothe, enough to shelter, those who may be living in a slum, or those who may be middle class or lower middle class, those who may, presumably they may look like well-to-do or something, but they're not. They're just hiding. Al-mahroom is someone who is, like we say, Sufad Bosh. In Urdu we say that's the best way to understand. Someone who hides their poverty from amongst of people, from amamun nas. Meaning that person, he or she does not disclose or does not show their poverty in front of others. they are the ones who's mahroom, meaning they don't ask. The difference between sa'il and mahroom is only one thing. Sa'il goes around asking for help. Mahroom doesn't ask. They feel shy. Yakhjal, al-khajal. They feel embarrassed. They feel shy. They feel very, very, how should I put it? They just don't like it. It's beyond them. Especially like right now in this COVID-19 coronavirus situation, there are many people who may come out openly and say, "Yeah, I need help. I don't even have food for my kids at home. Can you help me?" They might come to a ration or a food pantry or some food, or they'll easily come to a distribution area and say, "Yes, please give me a bag. I want to take home." And there are those people who at home are feeling shy and embarrassed, and they're feeling so distraught that they feel like, I would rather die than go out and get help from a place. These are the people that Allah is talking about, mahroom. These are the people who we have to go out and search for. And that is what, there are many hadiths that talk about this. And the summary of all of them is what the Rasul said, that try to find those people who have al-iffa. Al-iffa means a ta'affuf, meaning they don't have enough to eat, they don't have enough to survive, but yet they do not let it be exposed in front of others. They talk in a way, they wear their attire, their personality, they deal in a way, interact mu'amalat in such a way that your wildest dream will not even think that this person is needy, but they are needy. Who knows? Only Allah knows. So that is why this ayah is very important. لِلسَّائِلِ وَالْمَحْرُومِ. Our money, there is a fixed portion in our money for the one who questions us and for the one who is deprived, whom we have to go out and search for. And that is why we see the Khulafa Rashideen, that being a Khalifa, they would go out on the streets, walk in the streets of Medina, listening and trying to find out who needs help, which house needs help, and they would quietly help them. The best way to help somebody is not to bring them in public and give them a bag of food and ration and whatnot and groceries, but rather leave it on their doorstep in the middle of the night. So in the morning, when they open the door for anything to go out, they see, oh, there is something on my door. Who left it? Fa'il khair, a good doer, a muhsin. Which good doer, which muhsin? Only Allah knows. The best charity, the best sadaqah is where only you and your Lord Allah knows. Nobody knows. You don't take pictures to publicize. You don't promote that, oh, I'm trying to help so many people. I made so many bags and I went around and giving bags. Quietly in the middle of the night, putting the things at the doorstep of someone, knowing that they need that. Because if they don't need it, guess what? They will then go distribute it to somebody else, the one who you left it at their door. So these two ayahs that we covered tonight in this series, in this session, وَالَّذِينَ فِي أَمْوَالِهِمْ حَقٌّ مَعْلُومٌ لِلسَّائِلِ وَالْمَحْرُومِ, ayah number 24 and 25, so Surah Marriage, Allah is explaining to us a very important quality, characteristic of the believer. Believer is somebody who empathizes. The believer is someone who sympathizes. The believer is someone who has a very soft heart. Raqiqul qalb. Riqqatul qalb. They are so soft that when they see anyone in need, they melt and they go out of their way to help. You don't have to ask the believer, the mu'min that is described in these ayat. You don't even have to ask them to help. The moment they see a need, or better than that, one step further, they go out in search of need. You know how we call stockbrokers and say, how are the stocks doing? Can you tell me which stocks are going to be good? Let me buy that. What are you doing? You're inquiring. What are you inquiring about? Possible investment opportunities where I can maximize what? My funds, my dividends, my rewards. Just that same example, we need to call people and find out who needs help. Let's make tijara ma Allah. Let's make business and trade with Allah. Let us find out who from the makhluk of Allah, who from the creations of Allah is needy, needs, but they don't ask. Let's find out. How? Not by directly asking somebody, through sources, through friends and circle of people and neighborhood. Anybody you know in this area that needy? Any of your friends you think might be needy? Anything? And then just going out there and helping them. لِلسَّائِلِ وَالْمَحْرُومِ, for the one who asks and the one who is deprived. Because why is this important quality for the believer? Because the believer is using money, amwal, money, as a tool to attain the ridha of Allah. I know we always say that we're using money to get Jannah. Jannah is a byproduct, my dear brother and sister Islam. Jannah is a byproduct. It will come automatically with what? with the pleasure of Allah, rida. We are seeking the pleasure of Allah. That's all we need and that's all we want. If Allah radin anna, if Allah is pleased with us, do you think He will not give us Jannah? Automatically, it's a no-brainer. If Allah is pleased with us, radiyallahu anhu wa radu an. You know that Allah says about the Sahaba in the Quran, radiyallahu anhum wa radu an. Allah is pleased with them, the companions of the Prophet ﷺ, and they are also pleased with Allah. And that's what Allah says in Surah Fajr about the nafs. Ya ayyatun nafsul mutma'inna irji'i ila rabbiki radiyatin mardiyya fadkhuli fi ibadi wadkhuli jannah. O you the tranquil soul, return to Allah, pleased with Allah. Radiyatan mardiyya, that you are pleased with Allah and Allah is pleased. So the believer, the important quality of believer is that they're using the money, the funds, which also is given by Allah to us. They're using that to attain the rida of Allah. All we need to beg Allah, especially in these nights of Ramadan that's coming up, Ya Allah, anta takun radin anna. Ya Allah, irdi anna. Ya Allah, irdi anna. Oh Allah, be pleased with us. Oh Allah, be pleased with us. You know what's the benefit of making this dua? When Allah listens to this dua, we're saying to Allah, oh Allah, be pleased with us. Ya Allah, irdi anna. Oh Allah, be pleased with us. The result of this dua, qubul of this dua will be that Allah will then give us tawfiq. Allah will give us encouragement to do those a'mal that will take us to rida of Allah. Subhanallah. Just make that dua from tonight. Allahumma irdi anna or irdi anni. I say anna because we make everybody inclusive of it. That, oh Allah, be pleased with us. Don't be selfish and just say, oh Allah, be pleased with me. Us. In us includes everybody. Your parents, your spouses, your children, your siblings, your relatives, everyone. Allahumma takunu irdi anna. Allahumma takunu radin anna. Oh Allah, be pleased with us. Just repeat that dua. Even if you can't say in Arabic, say in English. Oh Allah, be pleased with us. Or in Urdu or any language, Bengali, Pushto, whatever. Ya Allah, tu humse razi ho ja. Ya Allah, tu bas razi ho. If Allah becomes radi with us, He will then give us the steps and the tawfiq, the encouragement to do the things step by step, bit by bit, which will get us the rida of Allah. Then Allah will make us use our money in such a way that we use that money to get the rida of Allah. And that is what's the important thing to make, my dear and sister in Islam. So we stop over here in verse number 25. Inshallah, tomorrow night again, 8 p.m. We'll continue over here with the next quality of the believer that is mentioned in Surah Ma'arij over here. And we'll try to wrap it up, inshallah, tomorrow night. Just information next week from Monday, because we do this series every day, Monday to Friday, 8 p.m. Saturday, Sunday is off. So next Monday, we'll be shifting this time to 9 p.m. Instead of 8 p.m., we'll be shifting it to 9 p.m. Just make a note of it, inshallah. We'll also send the notices in the WhatsApp group. Reason being, because Maghrib is now much later. It's 7:40, around 7:40 is Maghrib. So 8 o'clock is a bit too early for people. Some brothers and sisters sent me reminders yesterday, and so it's a good thing. We can, from next Monday, inshallah, it'll be 9 p.m. to 9:30. We'll be having this series. And inshallah, tomorrow night it'll be 8 p.m. again, same time. Qualities of the believers, part 7, in which we'll talk about verses 26, 27, 28 from Surah Ma'arij. Jazakallah khair. We'll make dua and end for tonight. اللهم أنت السلام منك السلام تباركت ربنا وتعاليت يا ذا الجلال والإكرام. اللهم تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا مولانا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. اللهم اغفر لنا ذنوبنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا والأبرار والحقنا بالصالحين يا رب العالمين. اللهم أنت تكون راض عنا يا رب العالمين. اللهم ارض عنا يا رب العالمين. اللهم ارض عن جميع المسلمين يا رب العالمين. اللهم يا شافي الأمراض يا شافي المشافى اشف مرضانا ومرضى المسلمين يا رب العالمين. اللهم اشفهم شفاء كاملا لا يغادر سقما يا رب العالمين. اللهم ارزقهم الصحة والعافية في بدني وجسدي يا رب العالمين. اللهم يا شافي الأمراض يا شافي المشافى اشف مرضانا من كورونا يا رب العالمين. اللهم ارفع مقتك وغضبك عنا يا رب العالمين. اللهم ارفع مقتك وغضبك عنا يا رب العالمين. اللهم ارفع هذا الوباء الكورونا منا يا رب العالمين. اللهم ارفع هذا الوباء كورونا عنا يا رب العالمين. Oh Allah, remove this virus corona from us ya Rabbil Alameen. Oh Allah, you be pleased with this ya Allah ya Rahman Rahim. Oh Allah, give shafa kamila ajila, give cure, complete cure and remedy to the people who are sick, especially those people who are sick with this coronavirus ya Rabbil Alameen. Oh Allah, those people who have passed away because of this coronavirus, give them the darajah of shahada, make them shaheed ya Rabbil Alameen. Oh Allah, protect the healthcare workers, the doctors and nurses in the front line of this battle who are fighting this virus. Oh Allah, protect them and give them strength and sahha and health and wealth, inshallah, Rabbil Alameen. Oh Allah, protect our families and our children from this virus. Oh Allah, remove this virus as soon as possible so we can go back to our normal places and normal work schedule and normal routine, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Oh Allah, open the messages so we can pray over there. Ramadan is coming up, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim. وصلى الله على خلق محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وصحبه برحمتك الرحمين. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا الله نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا الله نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. Inshallah, at 9 p.m. right now, I'll be doing a session with the Muslim Center of Middlesex County, MCMC Masjid, at 9 p.m. You can watch on their YouTube channel. If you just go to YouTube, type in MCMC Masjid, Piscataway, their channel will come up. So 9 p.m. I'm doing a session which is titled Time to Rise, meaning how to use the best of this time of isolation and lockdown in this COVID-19 at that time. It's from 9 to 9:30 on the MCMC Masjid YouTube channel. Also, another announcement before we end, this Sunday, 9 p.m., right here on this YouTube channel, on this Facebook channel of the Masjid, 9 p.m. this Sunday, I'm doing a program called Welcome Ramadan, which will be tips and strategies of how to maximize the benefit of Ramadan, especially in the current situation that we will be most likely will be doing Ramadan at home, not in the masjid with iftar and tarawih and all that, because the masjid are still closed, at least here in New Jersey. We don't know about the other states. So until further notice, we want to make sure that we make the best use of Ramadan. So remember, inshallah, this Sunday night, Sunday, April 19th, 9 p.m. on our YouTube channel and also our Facebook channel, inshallah. Make sure you connect over there. See you tomorrow night, inshallah. Then. Assalamu alaikum.